Oh, nope, it's still thinking about it. There we go. Hello, and welcome to episode TBD of the Star to Be Determined podcast. I am host number one, Ty.
And I'm host A, David.
Ooh, numbers and alphabetic numbering. We'll call it hex. We're gonna go with hex. Hexadecimal. Hexadecimal it is.
To
So
quote Doctor Who, that sentence got away from you.
Yes, and you are come right after the number 9, because everyone knows A comes after 9. Also, in re-listening to our old episodes, I think it behooves us to, at the front, explain how this works because it's not readily apparent, apparently, in re-listening to the old episodes. So what we do is we are going to watch a wonderful episode of science fiction. In this case, The Next Generation, episode 12 of season 1, The Big Goodbye, which, David, take it away with the explanation you're dying to give.
All right. First off, important note, originally aired January 9th, 1988. But yes, this is the first in a long series of, oh my goodness, the holodeck is a death trap episodes. It's all fun and games until, the holodeck safeties get turned off.
I think.
In fact, if I remember, I think there is an expendable character in this one too. I can't wait to see what anachronistic way he dies.
I know, until I found out this was a holodeck episode, I was almost expecting this to be the one where the as of yet unnamed main cast character gets killed off. Who shall remain unnamed, because heaven forbid we spoil a 30, 40-year-old TV show.
Unfortunately, we are not there yet where he, she, / it dies, so.
Z, the proper pronoun is Z. I've been informed.
Oh, well. I'm gonna stick with he / she / it. That way we do not give anything away.
Ooh. Or we could go with the Chinese pronoun ta, which verbally literally means everything. And then written, there's context to imply which version of ta it is. But it's all just ta.
Ta? Like,
yep, ta.
Ta for now.
Yep, ta for now. That's him, that's her, that's it. It's everything. It's great. It's a single pronoun for everything.
I love it.
Me too. It's great.
I'm gonna start using that from now on.
Yep. Ta doesn't understand, but Ta will someday. It's great. Okay, so everyone's should have the episode queued up on Netflix or CBS All Access, because we all subscribe to that wonderful service in theory.
Sorry.
I bought a lot of Blu-rays. We all know how we feel about that.
Yes.
Also, I must also, before we start, mention I am broadcasting from Quarantine Zone 6 because California is under complete lockdown, and I was supposed to fly home, and this was supposed to be our glorious in-person premiere episode, and then everything went to lockdown. My work canceled work from work, and then I canceled my flight, which took 6 hours of hold time to cancel. Luckily, they had one of those callback services, but still, 6-hour hold time, so you can imagine the hell that it is to be a support rep right now for an airline.
Oh, yeah.
I've experienced that once or twice doing internet support during, like, a hurricane, and yeah, it's not, no. It's like hell on earth.
Oh, well, thank you for joining us from quarantine. I'm in my house.
That reminds me. Remind me to talk about houses when we're done.
Houses when done. Got it.
Because you should totally move into my neighborhood. Well, I'll explain later.
Okay.
Okay, are we ready?
All right, give me one.
I
am
2. 1 3/4.
Are you going to actually say 1 at some point?
Only if you say you're ready.
I thought that was implied. Yes, I'm ready. I'm waiting for your cue.
0. Engage.
All right.
Riker. I can still hear his lack of beard coming through, and it just grinds on my nerves.
We do the best we can. Oh, the insect. Oh, I remember this. It's like being in Finland.
It sounds like it's time to just have his data say everything and move on with your life. That's what that tells me.
You are so right. Oh.
Like, I think C-3PO would be better in this situation, for crying out loud.
I think he would be.
And you know how everyone feels about C-3PO.
I just liked how in the last episode with C-3PO, it's like, oh yes, I can speak this, except I'm not allowed to.
Yes.
The one time you're useful.
His one skill set can save the day. I'm sorry, I can't say this.
Oh, this is the introduction of Dixon Hill. Oh, AD. Glad he specified.
Why did he need to specify when he said the United States, which clearly wouldn't have existed in 1941 BC?
You never know. The computer might have generated an alternate reality.
That's true. He could have been stuck in an alternate reality with, like, okay, forgive my lack of timeline accuracy, Moses leading the people of Israel out of Egypt into the United States.
Crossing the San Francisco Bay by parting it.
Yes.
I love how fascinated he is with this crummy office.
He looks so confused.
I like how they know what they're getting into. Like, we're going into an immersive real world environment, and they are still, like, dumbfounded by everything.
He's so confused and stupefied.
He's like you're supposed to really enjoy this. You're supposed to be immersed in it, and you don't know anything about the period.
He's like, it's a door I have to, like, touch with my hands? What kind of a Philistine do they think I am? He's so confused about everything. Everything anyone says. And how did Halloween not survive to that time period?
Yeah, technically, we never see him celebrate any holidays besides Captain Picard Day.
I think you're right. Do they ever celebrate any Earth holidays? Ever?
Well, in Generations, there's a scene where he's celebrating Christmas, but that was why he was in the Ultra Nexus and everything's happy place. But yeah, other than that, there are no holidays.
Is it me or this? I just realized something. I don't think any of the humans have any religion, but all the alien races do. And as Deep Space Nine pointed out, most of the religions are based off of factual reality and an afterlife. What happened to the humans? It's so weird.
That's actually a really good point. I never thought about that, but yeah. I'm trying to think if any of the human characters actually believed in anything. I mean, Kirk tried to ask God for his credentials. Oh. Wow, I didn't realize Star Trek was such, agnostic propaganda.
But like, all the aliens are deeply religious. Even to a slight extent, the Vulcans are slightly religious, but none of the humans are. That's weird.
Well, Q did call them a savage child race.
That is true.
Maybe this is what he meant.
And if Q said it, it must be true.
And remember that in a few episodes, Q's going to try to pass himself off as God.
Okay, how can he be your childhood hero and you have no idea what's going on?
I know, right?
And you look at that face, it's like, this man can convince me of anything.
Indeed. He says everything with so much gravitas.
How does he know what's reasonable by 20th century standards from a monetary standpoint, and yet he doesn't understand what Halloween is?
That's actually a really good point. And obviously he doesn't know what a femme fatale is.
And despite all this, I still love this show.
Well, this first season, once again, is a little rough.
It is very rough. I am half tempted to introduce my children to Star Trek using the movies instead of the TV show.
The movies? Like, what movie are you going to start with?
I don't know. But, like, technically, that's how I got introduced to Star Trek. I think it was a mix of Star Trek 4 and followed by a little bit of, like, occasional Next Generation.
Wow, that's a very uneven introduction. I started here with the basics.
Well, as you may recall, when this show was running for most of our lives, it was at 9 o'clock at night, and it wasn't until like junior high that my bedtime was extended to past 9 o'clock.
Well, my parents loved this show so much, and they loved watching with us so much. When it was on, that was the one night a week we could stay up late.
I'm jealous. I must have had horrible parents.
Well, we didn't want to say anything.
You spent all that time at our house and you never told me how horrible my parents were. I thought we were friends.
It was their house. I didn't want stuff getting back to them. One word. Actually, two words. Pause program. You couldn't say pause program?
Why does he still have lipstick on his face? That should be
Because you kissed
scientific.
him.
But he's out of the holodeck. Every other holodeck catastrophe episode says that should be impossible.
Well, it's not an object. Maybe the computer actually replicated it. All right. So
why are they so fascinated by the existence of the holodeck?
I know. I was about to say
for months.
Yeah, like obviously it's to the point where it's a widespread technology. How are they still awed by it? And apparently they don't have traditional city planning in the future either.
It's a holodeck. Why don't you just tell the holodeck to put you in appropriate attire? I'm
That's true.
just saying.
Yes, expendable character.
Riker's like, I see some potential here.
Actually, Wrecker's like, I've already gone into the holodeck. I was in there the very first episode. That's where I first met Data. Where have you been? So the question is, why deal with these people at all? Thank you, Data, for not shutting up.
Is this like a Rickroll? The Harada attack is like the Rickroll of their time?
Yes. Oh, I do love the Geordi Data friendship. It's like one of my favorite dynamics in all of TV.
I think this is after we've seen Data with a pipe, right?
I don't think so. I think we haven't seen him with a pipe yet. 1934 AD, yes.
Why are they transferring the data so slowly? Like, seriously, he can't just download
No.
the data into his brain?
Well, it's a social faux pas to plug yourself into the computer on the bridge.
I guess.
It's unseemly, Ty. Man, I wish I had a fedora like that.
I thought you had a fedora.
I don't. Yes, expendable guy!
No one will think Data's a square.
Not at
Or
all.
incredibly pasty white for no reason.
It's funny how they'll remark about Picard's clothes, but they won't remark about how pale and weird looking Data is.
Or they walked through a giant hole in the air.
They seem very selectively conscious of things.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, it's, in the words of Jeff Goldblum, sure, it's oohs and ahs now, but later there's running and screaming.
Yep. And holodecks would be so fun.
They would be. I just hope that I'm never like so awed by it that I lose a sense of what I'm actually doing, like these people. I think that guy has been in a couple episodes of Star Trek, the newspaper vendor. He looks familiar.
That guy looks really familiar. Was he in Gremlins?
I don't know.
That guy looks so familiar.
Buck Bakai!
Europe. Ah. South America? That was like the last thing you wanted to go with.
But that's where he's from, apparently. Oh, hey, it's the case. Thank you for the context. Like he knows what Joe DiMaggio is, but he doesn't know classic idioms.
How did he go through all those books and not understand and not pick up on some of these idioms?
I know. Oh.
Man, that guy looks so happy. He's so going to get shot.
You are so right. He's so gonna get shot. For what? Like, it's hard to take him seriously when he says things like that. Oh no, he's getting arrested by fake police.
That's not invasive at all.
All right, here it is. Random malfunction.
Ruh-roh.
It's like a ride's broken to Disneyland.
You think he would have said, I'll go get the captain, but apparently not.
You think so? Oh.
You know they only want to talk to the captain, and you know that everything offends them.
So
How did she get out of the holodeck?
She was never in the holodeck.
Oh, wait, that's Beverly. Sorry. For a second, I thought that was that girl that he kissed.
No, that girl's dead.
I know, but this is a malfunctioning holodeck, so I wasn't counting on her staying dead.
Well, that's a good point.
There's that South American man.
He's so weird.
Oh, now he knows the idioms.
Took him a while. Just I just like how happy she is. Like, I want to be suspected of being a murder. Like, so apparently women in the 24th century don't know how to sit.
Okay, she apparently can't make up her mind. One second she's pulling her skirt up, and the next she's pulling her blouse closed. He doesn't seem to understand the importance of playing along.
Yeah, they keep breaking the fourth wall. And probably really confusing the characters.
If only we had some sort of technology capable of getting people from one room to another spontaneously to resolve this problem.
I
This
know.
insurmountable problem of a door that won't open.
What I think, though, we have to address is the inherent racism that it lets the white woman in, but not the black man.
True. Very true.
We've come so far in the 24th century, but we still have a long way to go.
Well, apparently they reinstituted Jim Crow, and this is merely the white people and South American holodeck, and not the black people and African holodeck. Or maybe it's the European versus the Americans. And maybe like North and South American go in this holodeck. But Jean-Luc Picard is so French, even though he's so British.
British.
So that disproves that theory. So I think you're right. It is just a racist segregation holodeck.
So sad. Good cop, bad cop.
Oldest trick in the book. She is so obsessed with this lady.
It's like watching an alien trying to be human.
It is. I think Data's doing a better job than she is.
You're right. I like the cop in the background who's just like...
She swallowed the gum. Apparently chewing gum's not a thing with either. Oh, obligatory Wesley smarter than everyone, including the chief engineer sitting behind. Oh wait, he wasn't the chief engineer at this point.
He's not. Ooh, I like the little microscope. Can't he use his special visor to see these things?
That's asking too much of the special visor.
Am I asking really too much of the visor? It just allows this blind man to see?
Pretty much. You're asking too much of the visor. Why don't they just teleport him out of the holodeck and resolve the issue?
See, you know what the problem is, I think? They've forgotten the universal rule. They need to turn it off and back on again.
That is very true.
Oh, this ought to be funny.
I wonder if there's negative health consequences from smoking holographic cigarettes.
Well, normally no, but the safeties are off. He probably got like 0.01% chance of lung cancer right there.
That man is fascinated by everything.
He really is.
It's like, ooh, a light fixture.
Yes. What powers it? Then what is Data doing in the background? Like he's just messing with the phone?
Was she just wearing sunglasses inside at night?
She doesn't know how they work.
Does anyone wear glasses?
No, not really.
I'm trying to think if anyone ever wore glasses in any of these shows.
Not that I remember. Get a room, you two.
Data's so enthusiastic. He's like a 5-year-old.
I love how he's now picking up on everything. When Data imitates other people, it's the greatest thing ever. Yay, he has a gun!
Maybe he'll shoot us. Hope it's not the expendable one. Ooh. Rotating camera. Wait a second. This is clearly a man who does not know how to use a firearm.
Well, he is a holodeck character.
But, like, do you see how he's holding... Like, no one holds a gun like that.
Yes, stand right there in front of the gun.
Uh-oh.
Saw that coming. I love how Beverly's just clapping.
I guess it's a good thing they brought the doctor with them. Not that she knows how to do anything without her fancy tools.
She should really take those gloves off. You just shot somebody with me.
I like how Beverly has no comprehension of basic first aid, despite being a doctor.
Well, they only teach that to nurses.
Like, she's not applying pressure to the wound. She's not cleaning the wound. She hasn't even checked for an exit wound.
Yeah, you say that as if the writers of this episode had no basis for first aid. Of course you are, because you're not doing anything to save him.
Oh, I love the show.
Oh, everything about this is so rough. I love it.
I don't think we're gonna lose the expendable man.
You don't think so?
She hasn't even applied bandages. She just wrapped up a cloth and put it on the bullet wound, hoping it would help.
Why would they have an expendable person they could shoot if they didn't plan to kill him? That's false advertisement. For what? You're not doing anything.
Maybe she's actually going to try to be a doctor now.
I like how Data's confused by.
Nope, she's still not being a doctor.
Oh, of course not. Don't be silly.
And no one bothered to
Lock the door.
lock the doors or I don't know, take your shot companion to a hospital?
They didn't have medical care in the 1930s or 1940s, whenever this is.
You're right. Who am I kidding? Doctors weren't even invented until the 60s.
It's true.
Prior to
And for the
that,
first decade or so, they were all quacks anyway.
people just kind of hoped for the best.
And lopped off limbs where necessary.
Yes, that was the extent of medical school, was how to cut off a limb and cauterize it, because cauterizing was the only medical technique known to man prior to the 1960s. Why don't they just have Data take care of these guys?
You say that as if Data is immensely strong, immensely fast, and could take them all out.
It's
And
not like he
bulletproof,
has
really.
superhuman reflexes, and no one was looking there for at least half a second.
I love the quote-unquote action in this show.
What?
Oh, Picard dropping truth bombs.
Ooh, we're in Inception. The
Oh,
fake
wow.
characters and the fake characters and the fake characters played by the real people.
I don't understand who's real and who's not anymore.
Am I real? Are
Have
you
you ever
real?
been real? I don't know.
You're on the screen too.
How do
I'm,
you know, though, I'm not some, like, Russian bot?
I think
How
you
do I
are
know
a
I'm not
Russian
some
bot.
Russian bot? Should I be eating borscht?
Dun dun dun.
No, no. It's okay. She was no use of a doctor anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate given her performance on that man who's been shot.
Now Picard decides he has to get into character. Her "you're not real" speech didn't do anything.
I don't know how the "you're not real" speech couldn't have worked. It seemed like a bulletproof plan.
It does, because they're not real.
Data could literally punch a hole through his face.
Yeah, pretty much. But he's not programmed for violence.
She doesn't have the wound covered now. She's not even pretending to try now. It's just an open wound, gushing out blood.
Why, is that bad?
She's about as effective as Riker's current beard.
I liked how Worf was just like, my spider senses are tingling. Of course he will.
Okay, since when does a holodeck work like that? That's implying if you cut power to a holodeck, you kill everyone in the holodeck.
Yeah, I don't think they quite had the holodeck figured out at this point in the series.
What kind of technology would that be a good idea?
Apparently in this one, it's probably some highly technical reason we don't understand with our limited 21st century minds. That was random. Oh, hey, a door. Is this the whole trick the holodeck character into walking out and destroying himself?
Then how did the lipstick get all the way to the conference room if these guys can't walk out of the room?
It's the subtle mysteries of life. Here it comes. Here it comes. That's French. What gets me is how long they're actually out in the corridor before they fade. Like, shouldn't they just end as soon as they walk through the door? Also,
Yeah.
why are they aware of what's happening? Shouldn't they, like a program, just close?
You mean like a digital signal from a digital character in a digitally generated environment? Yes, yes,
Exactly.
they should just cut off as soon as they go out of range.
Now Data's using that androidness. Alley-oop. As a doctor, she should probably say something like, it's unsafe to move him, or make sure you're carrying him this way.
Or how about just put pressure on the wound so he doesn't bleed out as you carry him out of the room?
That too. That
Just
sounds doctory.
maybe her medical acumen will improve once Reichard's beard improves.
Hopefully. I like how he's having a deep heart-to-heart moment with a holodeck character we barely know.
He interrogated him. He said, I know you like my wife's cooking. And he
And
brought him a bottle of wine.
and then he's like, "Oh, by the way, your whole reality is a fiction." See, now they're trying to get into the deep metaphysics of the holodeck. And the answer is yes, because you're all just random ones and zeros stored somewhere. I could make you go home on an endless loop.
Yep, like the movie Click.
There you go. See, you get it.
Exactly.
Why don't they get it? They actually have this technology. See, they're not even doing face-to-face communication. They so just could have had Data do this.
That would have been too easy. Because it's not like they could perfectly articulate Picard's audio saying the correct things.
Yes, yeah, it's not like they've ever done that before, or will in a few seasons.
Or have universal translators that will on the fly translate things.
Oh, I get it because of the whole that guy almost dying thing.
And they don't even mention, oh, by the way, someone was shot and is in sick bay and is almost dead because Beverly didn't apply any sort of medical aid to him while he was lying there bleeding on the floor. uh,
Oh, and
that
there you
was
go.
that was glorious and hilarious and so wonderful. It's good to be podcasting again because can you think of a more glorious and respectable and honorable profession than podcaster?
I honestly cannot.
And well, it may not pay as much as a professional hip hop artist. We do what we can.
Plus, we get to have a whole lot of fun doing it. I mean,
Yeah, this is worth the effort. This is quite glorious and quite fun.
oh, indeed.
Wait, that just said Lucasfilm in the credits. What did Lucasfilm do with this show?
I don't know, lighting.
Oh, dang it. My player just crashed. Now I will never know. Because I clearly don't have the technology to go back and watch what was playing and pausing it, because such technology is beyond mankind.
Why is there so much to remind us how many technical limitations we have?
I
Like that
know.
whole episode was just one giant cautionary tale about look what you can't do.
It also reminds me of something that we often say in the world of software engineering. It's if you understood what held the internet together, you'd be just as scared of the internet as I am.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
It's the same reason a lot of like highly technical people don't trust IoT in their houses at all.
Yeah, I'm not at that level, but I have heard this.
I don't put cameras in bedrooms. Basically, if I ask myself, will this camera ever see me naked? And the answer is maybe or higher. There's not going to be a camera there. It's just not going to happen.
It's probably a pretty good rule to live by.
It's a very good rule to live by because you never know what's going to happen. It's technology. One minute you're playing a video game, and the next minute you're shot, and the doctor's clapping as you're bleeding out on the floor.
True story. It can happen. We just watched a very cautionary tale.
We did just watch it. That is what just happened.
I figure that's probably the point of the episode.
Probably.
It's a giant metaphor for, don't trust technology too much.
Because it will shoot you, and the doctor will clap.
And don't even try to staunch the bleeding at all.
That's my favorite part of the whole episode. I'll admit it.
Yeah, you did come back to it with quite regularity.
Such good times. Let me think. Is there anything we need to cover before we sign off? Plug your history podcast.
Yes, please plug my history podcast. Oh, you want me to plug my history podcast?
Yes, I will let you plug your history podcast.
All right. For all you out there, I actually do a weekly history podcast about the history of the state of Arizona. It is called AZ, The History of Arizona. Shocker, I know. You can find it at its website, which is azhistorypodcast.com. You can also find me on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, or any other major podcasting platforms. It's not quite as fun as this show, but it's at least interesting.
You're also on a lot more platforms than this show.
What can I say? I put in the effort.
Yep. And all of my stuff is linked off of our website,
StarTBD.net.
There we go. That's the one. Also, I do reviews for cleananime.net, and you can check out my rap album at yo-panda.com, which I'll just keep plugging because I've made dozens of yen off of it, and I'm gonna keep plugging it.
Someday you might make hundreds of yen.
And let us all lament my canceled flight because I was planning on recording my second album today, but I'm stuck in California, and all of my equipment is half of my equipment is at home, so I can't record my second album.
Life is so unfair.
It is unfair. I've only finished 2 tracks so far, and I've got like half dozen to go. So
how long are you stuck in quarantine for?
We're gonna drive back at the end of the week, unless they close the border, which is unlikely.
Yeah, it doesn't seem likely.
But yeah, they've closed as far south as LA all movie theaters, all dine-in restaurant. Well, we still have dine-in restaurants in Orange County, but LA has closed all their dine-in restaurants, movie theaters, arcades, bars, bowling alleys. It's all closed. It's traffic is creepy light for California. Like it's like Arizona at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's weird. Like 5 p.m. in Orange County is like 2 o'clock in the afternoon in Arizona right now. It's very weird.
Does
But
sound pretty weird.
we're surviving quarantine thanks to our ample supply of toilet paper. The toilet paper shortages are real. And the grocery stores are out of everything non-perishable. But if you want fruits and vegetables, there's still plenty of those on the shelves.
So go eat some celery.
Yes, go eat some celery. And with that, I think we can call it a night. And bid thee all a fond adieu.
Just remember, if you're on a holodeck, make sure you have a doctor who knows first aid.